What's going on, everybody? SeanPierceJohnson here, and today we're taking a look at pedal boards from Waggi. I had the great pleasure of meeting John Camello, the guy behind Waggi boards at the NAMM show, and he generously sent me not just this board, but one other board as well. They essentially follow the same basic design principle, but with 3 different sizes, the W20, W28, and the W34. So let's go ahead and open up the package and see what we get with the Waggi board. Obviously, starting out, you get this very nice gig bag for your Waggi pedal board. Now, the sides aren't particularly rigid, but the flat part is definitely a little bit more rigid. The top is nice and well padded, as is the bottom. I don't feel like you're gonna be knocking the board around too much, but this definitely provides adequate protection for your pedal board. You also have this very nice front pocket in the front, obviously right here, with plenty of space for cables, odds and ends, and various gigging necessities. Here we go, and this is what you get inside. This is really the bag with everything that you're going to need for the Waggi pedal board. But what's also cool is that you get the Velcro to put on your pedals if you haven't put Velcro on your pedals already. And it's not just like whatever brand Velcro. This is actual Velcro brand Velcro. To me, for some reason, Velcro brand Velcro always works best. Now this bag right here is really the stuff that, to me, sets the Waggi design apart in terms of its cable management system. Instead of using zip ties, you're essentially going to be using these little brackets. And there we have it, the Waggi pedal board. Now, as you can see, it's got a lot of room like a flat rail-based pedal board, but then we also have this shelf right here, which has a hinged lid. Very cool. So all this space right here can be for power supplies. It can be for if you have like a loop switcher right here in the front. You can put set and forget pedals right down here on this shelf. Clamp it down and bam, you've got space to put more pedals that you need to tweak on the fly, or things that have tap tempo and foot switches right here on top. And what I really like about the design is this nice little stainless steel rail. It's not really anything more than a design choice and a nice little bit of branding, but I think it's a really attractive thing. So far, looking at the Waggi board, this thing is pretty darn sturdy. I mean, you can try all you want to bend and whatnot, but you're not really going to be destroying this thing just with your own force, and I highly doubt that you'll be destroying it with rigorous use. Now, the real hallmark of the Waggi design is in its cable management, and that's where these little brackets come into play. I'll take a couple of those out for you and show you exactly what I mean. Now, at face value, these don't seem like they're going to do much, but this is really the key to keeping all the cables underneath the Waggi board tidy and in their own place. So say you have a pedal on the top of the board and you plug in its power, but it needs to get to the power supply that's under the bridge. So what you can do is feed it through these little channels and then up into the shelf area, but you've got the power to a pedal all the way over here, and your power supply is here. Things are gonna be kind of hanging around down there if you don't really, manage your power cables. So that's where these brackets come in handy. All you need to do, slide it in and lock it into place. Now with the package, you also get Phillips head screws. So very simple. All you really need to do to work this is a Phillips head screwdriver. Insert the screw into the hole, line it up, tighten it up, and you can easily make adjustments to this at your own will. You can move them around, make sure that you really want them to stay there, or you can put multiples in a row. Now, I think the best way to test out whether or not the Waggi pedal board is a good design is to build a pedal board. And we're gonna go for something kind of unique with this. So I'm gonna use the W20, the smallest size that Waggi makes, and I'm going to put a guitar rig on a pedal board. So what does that mean? Well, it means this. In addition to some of my favorite effects pedals, we're also going to put on the Joyo Meteor. So that essentially you have a board that you can walk into the gig with this pedal board in a gig bag and a speaker cabinet and be good to go. Oh, so good. So awesome. All right, here we are, people. Here is the Waggi pedalboard. All nice and put together, and I can't believe I had this stroke of genius on my part, I guess I could say. If I'm going to toot my own horn, then doot, doot, doot. I mean, toot, toot, toot. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of saw my Bantamp Meteor just kind of sitting on the amp rack, and was like, I wonder if I could fit that on the pedal board. And it hangs over the side a little bit, but it doesn't hang over the side too much that it is annoying, and it doesn't put the balance of the pedal board off center. But this is really kind of like everything that I would need outside of maybe a little bit of an ambience reverb, not like ambient, like, whoa, my God, big ambient reverb. Just something to give a little bit of sense of space. But go ahead and put 2 echo pedals on there, why don't you? And it'll do the job just fine. And here's basically what I chose to do. The TC Electronic Polytune 2 Noir. Just a mini tuner. I mean, it's a great tuner. It shows up well. I never use the polytune mode. I always just do it in monophonic mode, but it works great. One of my favorite fuzz pedals of all time, the Plethora by Pelican Noiseworks. Chaseless Audio Warp Vinyl Mark II, the first effect pedal I ever bought. The MXR Phase 90, the, late, of course, the Modern Block logo. And still kicking after all these years. Bought it when I was 15, and can't believe I have it 15 years later. Oh God, I dated myself and outed my age. Damn it. I wanted you guys to think I was young forever. Anyway, and then the Walrus Audio Iron Horse V2, great rat-style distortion pedal. We got the Pigtronics Philosopher's Tone compressor last in the chain, which I've been kind of into experimenting with where I place the compressor in my signal chain. And I kind of like it right here, doing sort of a parallel compression thing so that I can still get sort of my initial instrument attack. Here is the sound without it. Now, the only problem with that is, the Bantamp, it's a low wattage amp, and I'm actually running it on a lower load. It usually wants a minimum of 8 ohms, and I'm running it on a 16. So the wattage has been dropped down a little with the Class D power section. So to give myself a little bit of signal boost, I go ahead and put the Philosopher's Tone on in front of that, and I get... And it gives a little bit of a, jump in the volume, a little bit more juice out of it. And there's not a whole lot of compression, but I can easily put some of that in there if I want. Get it a little bit more squishy. Get real hairy like that. Yeah, pretty great sounding. And I kind of wanted to go for something with this where I could maybe even leave it on all the time. And, especially with the Warp vinyl, it has its own built-in JFET volume boost circuit, so I don't really want to slam the front end of it too much, the amp for that matter. I just want something nice with a little bit of lushness to it. And that's got tap tempo on it, so I can go. Overall, just a really nice, chewy analog chorus. And I got a couple different presets in there as well that I can, really change things up if I wanted to. I got a vibrato in there. So it's kind of getting like a faux Leslie thing going on there. Then we, of course, have the Pedalboard going into the front end. Yeah, nasty. And that's not the only fuzz tone it can do either. Oh yeah, all kinds of fun. And then the Iron Horse. It's cool. It's fun. I like it. Not typically a Rat guy, but this particular one with that LM308 chip in it, it works really well. And then I got the carbon copy and the Joyo Quattro in the Bantamp's effects loop, because if I wanted to, I could just reach right down and use the Bantamp's dirty channel. Or put on the Quattro. This is really the thing about the Waggi that I really like, because everybody wants a nice, neat cabling in their pedal board. And of course, power seems to be the most common thing that people want neat. But if there's one thing I've learned in my years of putting pedal boards together, it's that you want to make sure that each cable has a little bit of slack. You don't want things locked down too tight. But what this system allows me to do is it allows me to be able to adjust where I want the cables to kind of just be tucked in and be taken care of. And I find that this little system that they've come up with, these little cable runners, works really, really well. It's very easy to do, just a Phillips head screw and a Phillips head screwdriver, and that's really all you need. And I only have the DC brick under there, but I'm almost convinced that I could very well put the power supply for the Bantamp underneath the bridge as well, and be able to have all the power supplies underneath this little pedal bridge, and they're out of the way. They're not getting in the way of any of the tone shaping. All the power is contained in one place, and boom, there you go. Simple as that. And it's really, I gotta say, go ahead and mute this guy right here. Put the guitar down. I'm gonna show you guys the bottom of the board. That's what the bottom of the board looks like, and you can see that there's some cabling, you know, going down. But the feet of the pedal board are more than making up for it. They're definitely not. It's definitely not getting in the way too much. Yeah, it just, oh, looks like we got a little rubber foot from one of the pedals. Just toss you over there. But it's a really nice, clean package, you know, from stage. This is what you're going to be seeing. But it came together really easily, came together really well. I didn't have any instances putting the board together where I felt like I was, you know, doing something wrong. I didn't look at any instructions, you know, because there's very few instructions that come with these things. But you kind of just, you get it just by doing it. It's not a huge learning curve, and it looks really clean. I mean, it can get a little messy underneath the bridge. Underneath the bridge. Had a Nirvana moment. There you go. So it gets a little bit, wow, ouch. You can, that was fun. You can see it's kind of a little messy underneath the bridge, but if you just lock it down, you wouldn't even know. I'm looking at a little monitor right here, so pardon me. But I'm kind of thinking, as I finished up this build and I kind of thought about, oh, what would I do differently to this pedal board if I actually wanted to, you know, use it? Because I think that I hit on something pretty cool. And I think what I'd like to try to do is I'd like to see if I could run the Bantamp by, instead of having it this way, seeing if I could put all the send and return and the speaker jacks towards the back there. And I could easily have, you know, these two cables not really getting in the way of anything on the outside, and just being, you know, contained underneath the bridge. And maybe having a little output jack in the back of the pedal board, because basically to get power to the DC brick, all I'm doing is just feeding the power supply cable in through this back little window right there. So I'm pretty sure that I could have some little, you know, patch bay where I could take care of that very easily. But overall, for a quick slapdash pedal board, this could actually very conceivably be a very useful gigging tool. And it's a very elegant looking package. I mean, I did not try anything fancy with this pedal board build. I didn't try to make it look so pro. You know, I just wanted to show you guys some things, you know, just see how it would come together. And I maxed out the power supply with the exception of two 18-volt power supply outputs. So I could conceivably put two more 18-volt pedals on this pedal board if I had them. Sorry. Nickelodeon kid. Anyway, I could probably put on, say, like a reverb here. Probably could, you know, I have the Keeley 30 milliseconds that I actually like the Abbey plate reverb on that, and I used that as a reverb for quite some time and really, really enjoyed it. But that's another 9-volt that I wouldn't be able to power. So I could probably change out a couple things on here for some things that would, you know, run at 18 volts, just so that I could, you know, put more on the board. But at the end of the day, I am just really impressed with how this whole thing came together. One final test, obviously, we need to We need to transport this thing because God knows you're not going to want this bouncing around in your car. So we are going to put this Waggi build, stay. We are going to put that in the Waggi bag. So let's see. Put you down there. And slides right in there nicely. Cables kind of tuck in a little bit. The Bantamp's kind of pushing out a little bit, but not too bad. And bam! Check it out. So you basically have your guitar rig on your pedal board. I really like the way that Waggi has chosen to kind of put these two worlds together into their own design. I think the package is great. It comes with all the necessary cable runners, and I mean, it comes with probably like 15 to 20. It comes with a lot of them, and I didn't even put a dent in the amount. So the fact that you get more than enough of those cable runners to make sure that all your audio and power cabling is kept nice and tidy, that's a really, really big bonus for you. The carrying case, it works very, very well. I mean, I don't see this thing really being dealt any too much damage. I don't feel the need to do like my friends from 60 Cycle Home do and toss things out of a window because, well, I don't think this case is designed for that, for one, and I just don't like throwing my gear. I love it too much. You know, I get a lot of stuff here on the channel, and you know, people reach out to me to show you guys these new products, and very rarely does something come along that, you know, a company is generous enough to send me several examples of their product line, but then for it to not only just be something that they want me to show you guys, it becomes something that I actually want to use. I actually want to use it in my life as a performing and gigging and recording musician. So I'm very happy. I'm very satisfied. And I want to say a huge thank you to John Camello at Waggi for sending these my way and being kind enough to come up to me at the NAMM show, say hi. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little look at Waggi Pedalboards. It's a little weird demo Pedalboards, isn't it? But I had a lot of fun doing these particular pedalboard demos that we've been looking at recently. And I think that you guys can definitely count on some more interesting demos like this in the year to come. Now, I want to know what you guys think of Waggi Pedalboards. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please join me today by clicking that subscribe button when you see it. If you want to find out more information on Waggi, you could go to Waggi, WAGGI.co, and you can also find these pedalboards on Amazon. So go to it, people. Thank you so much for joining me for this little review, and until next time, my friends, I'm SeanPierceJohnson, and I wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers.